What's up guys, it's me Jeremy, and welcome to my guide on how to do double golems as an AD and a support in Season 3. I haven't seen any guides for this so far, but it's a very important concept for playing in the blue side bot lane, so I think it's good to put this updated guide out there, as the tactic has completely changed. Double golems is a huge resource tool on the blue side that gives you a very large EXP advantage, that can often catch people by surprise leading to a kill, or at the very least generate a lot of windows where you are exerting high pressure, as every time you get a level advantage you could possibly go in for a kill. Overall, you should always do double golems if you don't have anything to do at level 1, such as leeching for your jungler. However, with the new changes, double golems is a bit trickier and it took me a while to come up with a strategy, but I found something that is absolutely amazing for range supports, but only something that's just decent for melee supports. Due to the changes, the golems now move faster and have a much higher range, causing them to be hard to simply just kite back and forth. However, the leashing changes that the jungle went through, where the golems can now soft reset 10 times, made way for a very simple and incredibly effective way to do double golems on a range support. Note that all of the methods I will present also work completely fine on the top lane purple side if you are doing a lane swap. The entire tactic revolves around using the bush below the golems. Have one player start near this bush, while the other will pull the golems towards this bush. Move towards the edge of the bush to be out of range of any hits, but be sure to hit the golems on the way to the bush, and then kill the golems while you're in the bush, starting with the big one. This is because the small golem will be behind the big golem and will occasionally move out of range, causing you to move out of the bush and take some unnecessary damage. While you're in the back of the bush, the golems will not hit you, they will just simply keep resetting, but you out damage the amount they heal for when they reset, so you can eventually take them down before you miss any CS. While killing the golems, you do need to use your skills though. A good rule of thumb is to use no more than a third of your mana bar, as you do need to kill these golems a bit faster as they are constantly resetting, and of course you don't want to miss any CS from your lane. But you do still need to keep mana or you will have a big disadvantage once you do get to your lane. You want to end the process with about a third of your mana bar, so draining it down to half and then letting it regen a bit is okay too. Lastly, you want to have the two of your auto attacks alternating. The golem resets really fast, so if attacks are hitting them at the same time, then they will be able to heal for more HP in between each attack. You need to minimize the time in between each golem gets hit, because each time you hit the golem, it aggroes back towards you. Be sure to take account of attack speed differences and alternate your attacks accordingly. I recommend using the attack move and stop functions to be able to correctly alternate your attacks. You should then be able to kill the golems and only take about 100 or less damage between the two of you, and still be able to make it to lane in time to miss 0 CS on any range support and AD carry combination. Theoretically, you should take 0 damage, but taking 0 damage with this method is actually very hard, just because the actual tactic is a little bit clunky, so it's likely that you take around 50 to 100 damage, which is really not a lot and is a great way to end up taking the double golems. One thing that you can actually do is just sit in the bush, right click on the golem, and then not do anything other than your skills until it's dead, as if you are constantly moving, that can lead to misclicks, which can cause you to take some damage. If you are killing the golems with this method, you want to give one golem to one person, and then the other golem to the other person, so that you can share the EXP. Now let's move on to how to kill them with a melee support. Because of the range and movement speed buffs to the golems, the only real way to kill the golems on a melee support is to simply just tank them and kill them as fast as possible. You still want to pull them to the bush though, because that way you can avoid the damage from the small golem entirely while you kill the big golem. After that, you can then just kill the small golem and move to your lane, and by the end you should take around 200 damage total between the two of you. If all of this damage is to one person, they should of course use a potion, because if you head to lane with 200 missing HP, you're an easy target for a kill. But you can't afford to not use a potion if you split the damage between the two of you. If you do use this method, you of course want to give the big golem to whoever took more damage, and then the small golem to the other person, to share the EXP and effectively utilize the heal from the big golem. If you are having trouble with the bush method, you can always just use this tank method on a range support as well, although it simply is just not as good because you take more damage. So, that's it for my guide on how to do double golems in Season 3. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'd love it if you guys could support me with a like, an upload on the Reddit thread, of which there'll be a link in the description, or some feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time!